Are you from South Korea and you'd like to explore qualifying as a solicitor of England and Wales? If so, this video is for you. My name's Ingemar Hunnings. I am a solicitor, SRA regulated, and we have been helping people in this sphere for quite a long time, since before the SQE2 came in, actually. And we have helped many people, lawyers, qualify or get exemption from the SQE2 exam, and also with confirming qualifying work experience for people who are not already qualified lawyers. But at the current time, which is July 2026, we've helped over 200 people with that. So I want to explore the situation for people from Korea. I'm going to be sharing my screen and running through the situation. Well, first of all, what's required by the SRA, and then we'll talk about exemptions as well and how we can help, so you can navigate your way through this. Let me share my screen. And here we go. So there are 4 elements that you need to complete in order to qualify as a solicitor via the SQE route. So you need to have a degree or degree equivalent, pass the exams, the SQE1 and the SQE2. You need to have 2 years full-time equivalent qualifying work experience confirmed to the SRA by an SRA regulated solicitor. And then you need to do the usual thing of proving your identity, criminal records checks, etc. Let's talk about those in a bit more detail, and then I'll circle back and talk about exemptions and such like. So degree or degree equivalent. Notice that it doesn't have to be a degree. It could be degree equivalent, and it does not have to be a law degree. So if there's a training provider who is telling you that you have to do a converter course to do this, no, you don't. They might believe it improves your chances of getting through the exams, but that's a different question. The SRA does not require you to have a law degree or do a converter course. The SRA uses, I think it's ENIC, and anyway, a company to verify the degrees. The degree does not have to be in English degree or UK degree. It could be anywhere in the world, but they're looking at equivalency. Now the exams, there's the SQE1 and the SQE2. So the SQE1 first of all. The SQE1 exam is in 2 parts, the FLK1, FLK2. FLK is short for functioning legal knowledge, and it tests your knowledge. Okay, it's a multiple choice exam. It's tough. You usually have 4 potential answers and you're picking the best of those. Yeah, of the people who sit the exam, roughly about 55% pass. It does vary, but that's about it. So it's a tough exam. You then can apply for the SQE2 exam once you've passed the SQE1, although I think at the moment you can reserve a place with the SQE2 whilst you're waiting for the SQE1 results. But you can't sit the SQE2 until you've passed the SQE1. Now, the SQE2 is the SRA having a look at you as if you were a qualified lawyer. They want to see what you would be like. Would you be a safe pair of hands? So the SQE2 is not just knowledge, it's how you do stuff. It's 16 questions, 12 are written, 4 are oral, whereas you can sit the written parts of that and the SQE1 exam in the Pearson View centres anywhere in the world. Currently, you still have to travel to the UK, England and Wales, actually, for the oral parts of the SQE2 exam. So I think it's London, Manchester and Cardiff. So of the people who sit the SQE2, a higher percentage will pass, roughly about 77%, I think. Now that might sound as though it's easier, but remember that's a filtered group because it's only those who have either been exempted from the SQE1 or who have passed the SQE1 who are sitting the SQE2. Okay, I'll talk about exemptions a little bit later. So those are the exams, okay, and that's the SRA making a decision whether they think you are fit to practice. It's different from the old route like the LPC. where the law firm where you did a training contract made that decision, and frankly, no one ever failed. This is more rigorous in that sense that the SRA has taken back responsibility for whether you are licensed to practice. Now then, the qualifying work experience, 2 years full-time equivalent qualifying work experience. So that needs to be confirmed to the SRA by an SRA regulated solicitor. Put out of your mind any thoughts that you might have of the old route with the training contracts. Training contracts is not part of the SQE. It's just not a concept that exists within the SQE. Qualifying work experience. The SRA wants to be satisfied that you've had the ability to acquire the soft skills that turn you into from someone who knows lots of law into an effective solicitor. All right, so this is something which you can use an SRA regulated solicitor in your own organization to confirm, and that should be very straightforward. The SRA has said that the QWE should be confirmed unless there is a justifiable reason, as in you can justify it to the SRA, your regulator, not to confirm it. Okay, so also you can, well, a little bit more on the qualifying work experience. Qualifying work experience is the provision of legal services. That's how it's defined. There is reference to the Legal Services Act as well, but that doesn't add a huge amount to it. So the provision of legal services, these can be done, the QWE can be done, rather, it does not have to be done in England and Wales. It can be overseas. It does not have to be done in a law firm. It could be voluntary, unpaid. You can reach back in time as far as you want for your QWE. You can also use an external solicitor for doing the confirmation. Okay, so I'm just going to bring up on screen now. I've got it. Here we go. QWE external confirming solicitor service. So this is a service that we provide where you are asking an external solicitor to do the confirmation. They will have to do more than if you were using a solicitor, say, for whom you were working. Okay, because we haven't seen you. So we haven't seen your work. So the SRA requires us to confirm that we have reviewed your work and that we've got feedback from your supervisor. Your supervisor doesn't have to be a lawyer, it's just someone who supervised you. So if you don't have a solicitor to do your QWE confirmation, give me a shout, reach out to us. You'll see down here on the website, there's a form you can fill in. Please don't ring me because I'm unlikely to be available, but you can email me, okay, or fill in the form on here, and then we'll have a look at how we can help you and such like. So that's to do with the confirmation of QWE, where you don't have anyone who can do that for you in your organization. Okay, and by the way, the confirmation of the QWE doesn't expire. Once it's happened, it's happened. Proving your identity, criminal records checks, we're not really involved in that. That's something you do, but we do have a service. If you don't have a solicitor to confirm your identity, then let's go back up here. We have a little service where we can do a Zoom to do that confirmation. The SRA uses Atlantic data currently for that. Yeah, you follow what they say you need to do. So, criminal records checks, how complex that is will depend upon where you are, and that will determine where the criminal records checks need to be done. So I understand that if you're in India, you've got to go down to your local police station and they don't know what on earth you're talking about. So it's a bit of fun. In the UK, it's all very digital and quick to apply for and get. Right, exemptions. So can you get exemption from the SQE1? If you happen to have passed the old LPC exam under the old way to qualify, then currently we're in a transition period and you could trade in your old LPC pass to get an SQE1 exemption, and then you would have to sit and pass the SQE2 and get your QWE confirmed. Okay, the SRA, there is a sort of equivalent means type form you can fill in and a dossier of paperwork you can pull together to apply for exemption from the SQE1. but the SRA have said they have only ever granted that once. So I think the chances of you succeeding that way are vanishingly small. Okay, so that's about getting an exemption from the SQE1. The SRA is unlikely to grant you an exemption from both. The only people who can apply for an exemption from the SQE2 is people who are already qualified as a lawyer in some jurisdiction. And I'm focusing here on South Korea, so I'll be looking at that in some detail in a moment. So you have to be qualified already as a South Korean attorney if you want, if you're going to be able to apply for the exemption from the SQE2. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen now to say that we do have a service. Where is it? In here. SQE2 exemptions to help, and we've got information on here, guidance as to what's involved in all of this. And you can download the form, guidance notes and such like. We do have a service for a fairly nominal fee of £250 plus VAT if you're based in the UK. If you're in South Korea, then no VAT. Just to help you, we'll give you a simple template. We'll guide you on what needs to go into the documents, the reference letters. We'll review them and remind you what you need to submit. So that's what we do for that. For South Korean qualified attorneys at law, you do not have an agreed exemption, but you can make an individual SQE2 exemption. Okay. What you'll need to submit with that is their fee, of course, I think currently £265, evidence of your professional qualification. They say, for example, an admission certificate or certificate of good standing. I would go for the admission certificate. That's much simpler. Okay, you need to have legal work experience post-qualification of at least 18 months. Okay, now legal work experience is a different definition from qualifying work experience. Yeah, legal work experience is pretty much what you think it would be, work experience doing legal work, but it needs to be either as a Korean attorney at law or at least to that level. Okay. So you'll prove that by way of a written reference letter. That reference letter has certain things the SRA wants in it, and I mentioned on the page from our website I showed a moment ago that there's a guidance note on that. We can help make sure that you don't miss any of the things. It needs to be written by someone who directly supervised your work. And they will need to explain in there, you'll probably draft it for them. It needs to explain in there what the arrangements were for the direct supervision. There's other things that need to go in there. Okay. Now, the person writing this normally would be a lawyer, but they don't have to be. If they were a professional, like an accountant or someone like that, that's fine. They would need to explain how they were suitable to supervise your work, and you would also need to submit some proof of their qualifications. If they're a lawyer, it would be their admission certificate. If they're like an accountant, some other professional, whatever other proof they have of their qualification. If the person who supervised you was not a professional, was not a lawyer, that doesn't stop them writing or signing the reference letter that you drafted for them, but you would need to explain in there how they were suitable to do that. Then the SRA takes about 180 days normally up to that point to consider your application. If you meet the requirements, then it should be fine. They should grant that. Right. So if you've got if you are a foreign qualified lawyer and you apply for if you get exemption from the SQE1 and sit the SQE2, okay, the SRA may require you still to have your QWE confirmed. So do watch out for that. Right. So I hope that that's of help for you. That's made things a bit clearer, what the SRA wants and some tools and assistance there to help you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Let other people know. The liking and subscribing really helps boost it on the algorithms. And so while I'm sharing my screen and such like, I will also show you that if you're not looking at this through YouTube, but through some other posting, then we do have a YouTube channel with lots of videos about the SQE and the QWE, other things about compliance and such like. The green ones are the full webinar about SQE and QWE with Q&A afterwards. So I wish you all the best, good luck, and maybe I'll hear from some of you. Cheerio.